Hey guys, thanks for clicking on today's video, but before we get into it, I wanted to thank the sponsor for today's video, Tekken Amino. Tekken Amino is an awesome app and is one of the best social communities for Tekken fans to connect with each other. It has a lot of cool stuff like polls, chat rooms, places to share artwork, quizzes, and a front page for featured content. Tons of different people use this app, and I really enjoy looking around on the featured content page. And in general, just seeing what new polls and quizzes show up. If you have the time, I'd highly encourage you to download the app and try it out for yourself. You can even vote in my poll on whether or not Law needs buffs. Anyway, link and everything you need for the app will be down in the description. Now, let's get on to the video. In its early stages, Tekken wasn't even a video game. It was instead a test to experiment with 3D modeling in the early years of 3D graphics. It only became a fighting game after Namco had hired several developers who had previously worked on Sega's Virtua Fighter series. This included Seiichi Ishii, who was the lead producer for both Tekken 1 and 2. The goal was to make a game similar to Virtua Fighter but using textured 3D models and increasing the frame rate from 30 to 60. Tekken also wasn't always called Tekken. In early promotional material, Tekken was originally called Rave War, though the name lives on in martial law's move list as Rave War Combo. Series producer Katsuhiro Harada has lent his voice to several characters in earlier games, voicing Yoshimitsu from Tekken 1 up until Tag Tournament, Kunimitsu in Tekken 1 as she shares the same voice banks as Yoshimitsu, and martial law from Tekken 1 till Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection. Harada has also credited himself as Katsuhiro Heihachi Harada in multiple games, and even named his dog Heihachi. Tekken has seen a lot of success during its time as a Sony exclusive. Tekken 1 was the first PS1 game to exceed 1 million sales, and won a Guinness World Record for this achievement. It received a second one for being the first fighting game to feature simulated 3D, and a third for the best-selling fighting game series for PlayStation consoles. Tekken 2 and 3 are also some of the highest-selling games on the PlayStation 1, with Tekken 2 being the 12th highest at 5.74 million sales, and Tekken 3 at number 4 with 8.3 million copies sold. This also makes Tekken 3 one of the most successful fighting games, second only to Super Smash Bros. Brawl, which has sold 13.21 million. Tekken as a whole has also sold over 46 million units. In several early trailers for Tekken 7, there is a shot of the Mishima Dojo's floor, where the names Kazumi and Heihachi Mishima are written under an Iagasa. This is actually a reference to Tekken 2, where the same writing can be found on the Pagoda Temple stage. What's more interesting is that this, for the most part, went unnoticed by many prior to Tekken 7's announcement. Coincidentally, fans picked the name Kazumi years before she was announced. It is possible the fans chose Kazumi due to it having a similar naming convention to Kazuya, as the kanji for her name could be interpreted a few different ways, like Hitomi, Izumi, or Itsumi. Many other Easter eggs exist in the Tekken series. In Tekken 3, a piece of graffiti on Brian and Paul's stage reads Soul Edge, a reference to the first game in Namco's Soul Calibur series. The character Steve Fox's original name was Dean Earwicker. This, however, was changed after a substantial amount of negative feedback came from the Tekken community. The name, however, was kept in Tekken 4's Tekken Force mode, where an enemy on the last stage is called Dean Earwicker. Other references can be found in Tekken 5's arcade battle mode, where a Tekken Lord is named Dean Earwicker, and again in Tekken Tag Tournament 2, with a ghost that uses Steve and Horang. In Tekken 4's Tekken Force mode, the last 4 enemies in the final stage are named after members of the American rock group the Red Hot Chili Peppers: John, Chad, Dave, Anthony, and Flea. And on Tekken 5's Final Frontier stage, the background will occasionally show a sprite of Pac-Man. Tekken is also no stranger to referencing the popular manga series JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Harada admitted in an interview with Edge magazine that Paul's hairstyle and first name were based on Jean-Pierre Polnareff, and that Masamichi Abe, a former member of the Tekken planning team, was a fan. Another reference can be found in Tekken 1. Kazuya's Devil Kazuya outfit bears a striking resemblance to Jotaro Kujo's stand Star Platinum, and both Kazuya and Jin's gloves resemble that of Star Platinum's. The Tekken series has also had its share of some oddball minigames. In an interview with Siliconera, Harada mentioned that Tekken 3's Tekken Force mode started off as a side idea. We wanted to have Tekken characters side-scroll through stages and pick up meat to replenish health. At the beginning, that's what we wanted to do. I know it sounds silly and it's hard to see the purpose, but I really wanted to do that. Tekken 3's Tekken Ball mode was first designed as a way to help people practice air juggling. Harada stated, "The original idea was to hit the ball and juggle it to a basket, sort of like a basketball. It didn't go how I imagined and I was kind of frustrated. If it's not going to be good, I thought I should make it into a versus game." Tekken Ball was made by 3 people, an art designer, a programmer, and Harada himself, as the rest of the team was swamped developing the main game. After Tekken 3, Harada thought about using a ball in other ways, in which he went on to say, "At first we thought about pinball, but we thought we would rather have 2 characters taking turns, so bowling would be better suited." This would go on to become Tekken Bowl and Tekken Tag Tournament. There are several unplayable and scrapped characters in the arcade version of Tekken 3, Jun, Sake, and Insect. Though through cheats, both Jun and Sake can be selected, neither of them are really playable, as Jun uses Nina's Player 1 costume and Sake uses Yoshimitsu's Player 1 costume. Both of them also use Jin's moveset. It is unsure why Jun was scrapped, but a Tekken 3 style portrait of her shows up on the versus screen, and most of the dialogue is ripped from Tekken 2. Harada stated in a forum post regarding Sake, "This was included when we planned to implement a new animal character, but there were a few problems. It was really a salmon, so no matter if you press punch or kick, the character just flops around making flapping noises. At the time, one play was 100 yen, a little over $1, so that is the quality bar to keep in mind for customer satisfaction. So we thought players would get quite angry if they had to pay that much to play such a character, and we gave up on the character. That kind of character might be okay in a console version, but not for the arcade." Buried deep in the ROM is data for a character called Insect. The idea was to have a giant praying mantis as a playable character. The idea resulted from a bug in the game in which all characters' arms, legs, and waists were extremely thin, and they resemble that of a praying mantis. Unfortunately, with a lot of new characters already being worked on, they had limited resources to devote to such a character, and eventually they scrapped Insect. Akuma isn't the first time the Tekken series has had a guest character. Tekken 3 featured the guest fighter named Gon, a fire-breathing dinosaur from a manga series of the same name. Though at first he wasn't very well received, he would eventually become one of the most requested characters for games like Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Harada has stated that Gon was part of a one-time licensing deal and would be very unlikely he would return. This same licensing deal is one of the reasons why Tekken 3 hasn't been released on the PSN store as a PlayStation 1 classic. Debate rose when Tekken 6 newcomer Leo was announced. It was unclear if Leo was a boy or a girl. Both Bandai Namco and Harada stated that they wanted to keep Leo's gender a secret, and instead have a gender-neutral character that all players could enjoy. This was indeed the case, as Leo was referred to with gender-neutral terms. This would be kept a secret until a 2011 promotional event in Cologne, Germany for the upcoming 3D movie Tekken Blood Vengeance, where Harada confirmed that Leo was in fact a girl and her name was Eleanor Cleason.
Eleanor Cleason is real name. So Leo was a female, actually.
But more confusion arose after Tekken 7, in which they referred to Leo as a he. A year after the Blood Vengeance event, in a Japanese interview, Harada went back on his earlier statement, saying there was a mistake made at the event, and officially stating Leo's gender is neutral. Controversy affected Tekken Tag Tournament 2 when it was found out that the stage Modern Oasis included a floor decoration with the word Allah written on it in Arabic. Many Muslim players quickly took to Twitter to voice their concern, as both stepping on God's name and using God's name in an unnecessary manner are considered highly disrespectful acts in Islam. Afterwards, Harada apologized and it was later patched out of the game. One of Tekken 3's endings was censored in the European and North American versions of the game. In the Japanese version of Anna's ending, both she and Nina are seen sunbathing. Several men show up and hit on them, and Anna ends up getting most of the attention. Nina, jealous, then walks over and unhooks Anna's top in front of the men, walking away with a smirk on her face. In the American version, Nina ignores the situation completely, with Anna walking away with a smile. This isn't the only case where Tekken has been censored. In Korean versions of Tekken 6, Tekken Tag Tournament 2, and Tekken 7, Elisa's design was slightly changed. Her chainsaws were censored due to Korean law and replaced with beam swords, and all instances where she removes her head or gets dismembered were also changed. And that's it for episode 1 of Behind the Fighter. If you want to check out more Tekken content, I do combo tutorials for Tekken 7 and other wacky fighting game stuff over here. And if you liked the video, go ahead and give it a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this in the future. I'm Dan, and I'll see you in the next one.